Well, our developing story at this hour, Gauteng MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Lebogang Maile, has suspended 2 DA councillors, Katlego Mathebe, the Speaker of Tshwane, and Vasco de Gama, former Speaker of Johannesburg. Mathebe has been suspended for 6 months without pay for her conduct in the Tshwane Council meeting that collapsed recently. Mathebe faced a vote of no confidence and recused herself. De Gama has been suspended for 3 months, also without pay, for his conduct in the Johannesburg Council meeting last November. He's accused of abusing his powers when he postponed a meeting to elect a new Johannesburg mayor. My colleague Govan Whittles has been covering that story for us, and now he's joined by Lebogang Maile, the MEC himself, I'm sure, to explain further for us to have a better understanding. Govan.
Thank you so much, Bradan. Let's get straight into it. So, Lebogang Maile, the Cooperative Governance MEC in Gauteng, saying that both Katlego Mathebe and Vasco de Gama are constitutional delinquents, and he suspended them after their conduct in the Johannesburg and Tshwane councils. I'm joined now by the MEC for more on this. MEC, thank you for your time. Okay, let's begin with the Johannesburg Council. What exactly did Vasco de Gama do to warrant being suspended for 3 months without pay?
Thank you very much. As you have correctly summarized what we said, both of them have breached the code of conduct of councillors, but most importantly, we feel that they've disrespected our constitution, because a meeting of a council is the highest decision-making body. It's catered for in the constitution, and the constitution clearly states that the executive and legislative authority of the council rests with the municipality. So you can't arbitrarily, as an individual, at the council meeting, decide that the meeting will not proceed because you believe that there is misunderstanding about what constitutes the majority.
And you're referring here to Vasco de Gama's decision to postpone that meeting to seek legal advice on what is 50% of the vote.
Yes, certainly. And funny enough, the subsequent meeting, he presents the matter to the council, and it becomes the council that makes that determination. So we don't understand why is it that that determination was not made in the first meeting by the council. We think it was just mischievous on his part.
And then Katlego Mathebe then recuses herself as the Speaker of the Tshwane Council before the meeting, which was supposed to hear a motion of no confidence in her. The ANC also saying that she improperly rearranged the order of items on the agenda. What was it about her conduct that was in breach of that code of conduct for councillors and the Constitution?
Well, remember, she also recused herself from the council meeting at the meeting, when she knew very well before the meeting that she's going to be a subject of discussion. And therefore, we believe that if she was acting with integrity and honesty, and she was upholding the principles and tenets of our Constitution, she would have made necessary arrangement before the meeting, for the meeting to proceed orderly and deal with the issue. And subsequently, there was another one on the 16th of January. She does the same, derails council, acts irrationally. We ask her to engage with us and explain in writing, and also have a meeting, and also give us the recordings, and she flatly refuses to do.
Let's talk about that engagement now. You've engaged with both Vasco de Gama and Katlego Mathebe. What was it about the engagements that were not sufficient that you had to proceed with these suspensions?
You will remember we wrote letters to them, and in the letters we were clear. Please explain to us, why must we or can we not suspend or expel you? So we were clear that from where we are sitting, you have breached the code of conduct. So explain in line with the laws of natural justice so that they give the version of their story. And they've responded. When we look at the responses, we were not satisfied. We think they were full of excuses more than anything else, instead of them taking responsibility and maybe even apologize, to say it might have been an error of judgment or whatever. We apologize, and we would have perhaps taken a different decision. But they are not remorseful. They believe that they are correct. They don't see anything wrong in disrespecting our constitution, in acting dishonestly, in acting without being considerate to the laws of our country. So we are very much concerned, and we expected more from them, since they are speakers and they carry the responsibility of being custodians of the constitution and the rules and laws of their respective councils. So
well, they also believe that you're acting on behalf of your political party, the ANC, and it's difficult to escape looking at it through that lens, that you as an ANC politician are now targeting these DA politicians and speakers. How do you respond to that?
Well, the law expects that as an MEC for a COCTA, and in the law is referred to as an MEC for local government, I must act in a certain way, consistent with the constitution of the land. I must act with integrity. I must act with honesty. I must be transparent. I must uphold the tenets of our constitution. And if we have violated all of that, our colleagues in council, they can go to any court, because we understand very well that the decision we are taking have got far-reaching implications for the rules of engagements in these municipalities going forward. You would have seen a lot of disruptions previously. We don't want to see that anymore in Gauteng. We want the councillors to uphold the decorum of those institutions that they serve in, because they don't represent their jackets. They represent the people who have elected them there. They operate within the constitutional framework.
But you are anticipating some court action, particularly from the Democratic Alliance, on this matter?
Yes, certainly. I think they will go to court. We don't have a problem, because we respect the courts, and we understand very well that the courts have got a final say on the interpretation of the laws. What we have presented today is our interpretation and understanding. If they don't agree with our interpretation, they will have to ask a competent court to make a final determination. And we will gladly abide by whatever decision that courts take, because we respect the courts, and we cannot conveniently apply the laws, and when they don't favor us, we want to complain. We are not like that.
Thank you so much. That's Lebogang Maile, Pradhan. He's the Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs MEC in Gauteng. Well, Vasco de Gama is a former speaker in Johannesburg. As for Katlego Mathebe, the council in Tshwane will now have to sit and decide whether or not they want to remove her as speaker, or whether they want to appoint an acting speaker until her suspension is over and she returns to her position. That sitting of council could be presided over by the city manager or a designate from the MEC's office. For now, it's back to you, Pradhan.